Hello and welcome to Tom Yoga Om. Today's class is all about getting you feeling a little bit better than what you're feeling right now. We're going to work into the whole body to help you feel open, energized and flowful. So to get that energy flowing throughout the body. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, it'd be really helpful if you did that by pressing on the subscribe button. If you've done it already, thank you very much. Let's get to it. To begin with, just come to a comfortable seat and ground down into your sitting bones. Make sure that your feet are nice and firm on the floor. Make sure that you're sitting in a position that feels good for you. Right now my lower back is feeling a little bit stiff and sore. And so what I'm going to do is grab a brick and place it underneath me. If you haven't got a brick, you can get a pillow or a book or a blanket or a towel and just come to a comfortable seat. When we elevate the hips by placing an item underneath them, what happens is our knees drop and we relax into the hip flexors. And when we take this pressure off, we can kind of sit up a little bit easier. When you're ready, you can place your hands in a comfortable position. I'm placing mine on my knees, but you might have yours in your lap or at your heart center. And then just start by taking a deep breath into your belly and into your chest. And exhale out of your mouth with a sigh. Take 2 more breaths like that. And from here, bring the breath through the nostrils. And just start to drop in and focus on your breath. Tune into its flow and how it feels as it passes through your nostrils, into the back of your throat and into your lungs. Notice how your belly and your chest expand on the inhale. And see if, as your belly and your chest relax on your exhale, if you can get your shoulders, your neck, and any other part of your body that might hold tension to also relax as you exhale. Just let the breath flow in and out, finding a rhythm. And as you breathe here and as you sit here, start to deepen your breath and imagine that you're breathing in what we call like a 3D breath. So imagine that you're expanding your belly and your lungs in all directions as you inhale. So into the front of your body, the sides and the back of your body. And as you exhale again, feel your body soften. We're going to take 5 more deep breaths in and out here. And as you breathe, just notice your physical body. And do a scan and notice if there's any tension or tightness or soreness that you need to be mindful of today. And then do a scan of your mental body. So just tuning into the mental space and noticing what's coming up for you today, what you've been working with recently, and how that's been making you feel. And for this final breath, just tune into how you feel as a whole, so how your energy is going. And just take a bigger breath in and a long breath out. And feel your body soften and relax. Nice. When you're ready, you can open your eyes if they're closed, and then just come down onto all fours. So you can remove the cushion or the brick or the pillow that you might have underneath you. Come onto your hands and your knees and just flatten your feet out on the floor and start by pressing your back up to the ceiling, tucking your chin in towards your neck and taking 3 deep breaths into your back and into the back body. And feel the back stretching up from between your shoulders. Feel the neck lengthening by drawing the chin down and reaching out through the top of your skull. And take one final deep breath in and out here. Good, and we're going to start nice and slow. So when you're ready to begin with, tuck your toes under and from the hips start to drop your spine downwards, opening your belly up and opening your chest forward, letting it shine, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, again starting with the hips, round your spine up to the ceiling and curl it upwards as you draw your chin down to stretch your back body upwards. Just flow like that through your cat-cow. So dropping the belly down, opening your chest up, and just gently curling the spine in the opposite direction on the exhale. Reaching up, stretching up. We're going to do one more round here. See if you can drop down a little bit deeper. Breathe into the belly a little bit more. Open the chest up a little bit more. Think of that 3D breath. And as you exhale, press away the most that you've pressed away today. So really stretching. Good, and come back to the neutral position at the center of your mat. And from here, flatten your feet out and step your right leg back behind you. And then step your right leg, or your right foot rather, over to the outside of your left foot, like so. Now when we do this next pose, something that happens frequently is our bellies drop down and our lowest kind of rib space area drops down. So what I want you to do is lift your lowest rib and lift your belly upwards, and then look over towards your left foot, and you'll feel a stretch in the right side of your body. We want that. Take 3 deep breaths into that right side and imagine that you're expanding into that space as you inhale. And imagine that you're stretching and maybe you're turning a little deeper to look a little further at that left leg or at that left side as you exhale. 2 more breaths. Lifting that lowest rib up. Good, and then come back to center. And from here, we're going to stretch that left leg back and then step the left foot over towards the outside of the right foot. And from here, again, lift that lowest rib up to the ceiling before you turn your head to look towards your extended leg. And take 3 breaths. Keep breathing into the side of the body. And maybe stretch a little deeper on the exhales. Really expanding on the inhale. And relaxing and stretching on the exhale. 1 more breath. Good, and then gently come back to a neutral position. And from here, we're going to step ourselves back into a plank. Just take a big breath in. And as you exhale, just drop your hips down a little bit and see if you can lift the space between your shoulders upwards. So your back is kind of lifting out from between your shoulders. Take 1 more big breath in here. And as you exhale, bend your knees a little bit and come back into your first down dog. Good, and today we're going to bend the knees in our down dogs just to keep our hips working backwards. So really grip into the floor with your hands, broaden your shoulders away from your neck. And if you'd like, you can start to bend your knees left to right to stretch into the backs of your legs. And what you might like to try today is to step your feet a little bit wider. So taking a more of a girdled stance, a wider stance, and just feeling a different kind of a stretch. I find that as I walk my feet left to right here, my lower back feels it. That's where I open up into. But what do you feel? Let's take 2 more breaths. Keep those knees nice and bent. Feel the strength in your arms. And after that second exhale, come back to a neutral position. And from here, we're going to roll our bodies forward into that plank pose again. And as you exhale, just drop yourself down and use your knees if you need to. Come all the way onto your belly. Flatten your feet out on the floor. Take your arms behind you. And as you breathe in, I want you to reach your arms back and lift your chest up. That's it. Imagine that you're reaching your chest forward, especially around the middle part of your rib cage. So just underneath kind of the pectoral muscles. You're reaching that forward, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and then draw your chin down towards your neck and take 3 deep breaths. Keep lifting, 2 more. And last one, full breath in and slow breath out. Good. Once you're ready, slowly release your arms down. Just give yourself a bit of a pause here. And then take your hands either side of your mat, so a little bit wider. Your hands are kind of underneath the elbows, or as wide as your elbows rather. And when you're ready, press your feet down into the floor, engage your thigh muscles just to get a bit of grounding strength. Lift your chest up. And then look towards your left elbow, drop your right shoulder down and just start to circle it. Just draw 3 rotations here. It's a nice way to open up safely into the neck and into that shoulder and tricep area, trapezius area. And when you're ready, inhale, lift yourself up, come back to center. And as you exhale, drop your left shoulder down, look towards your right elbow and do the same thing on the other side. Just 3 rotations in each direction. And then come back to center, lift yourself up. And exhale, roll yourself down, very nice. Place your hands onto the floor, tuck your toes under. Inhale up into a plank or a tabletop. And as you exhale, come back to your down dog. Good, bend your knees left to right. And take 1 more breath here. This last little kind of moment to stretch. And when you're ready, inhale, lift your left leg up and just press the heel back behind you. Now, it's so tempting to lift that leg up really high and to get a big stretch going, but what I want you to do is try and find and imagine one nice long line from your hands and your arms to your back and your spine, to your thigh, to your heel. So it's just one nice long line of the body. Take another big breath in here. And as you exhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow into a plank position. Good. Inhale, extend back into that 3-legged down dog. And as you exhale, left knee to the right elbow, plank position. Good. For this last one, full breath in, reach back. And bring your leg through the center and hold in a tiger curl. So for this one, you're kind of coming up, bring your nose to your knee and pointing your left toes backwards. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, step the foot forward to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee to the floor, flatten the back foot out on the ground, plant your fingertips down on either side of your foot. Inhale to send your hips back. And as you exhale, I want you to send them forward and sink them down and just relax. Good. Make sure the knee is above the ankle of that front leg. And then take 3 deep breaths into your belly, into your chest. And just feel the stretch. Feel yourself softening as you exhale. And feel that 3D breath again as you inhale. One more full inhale, full exhale here. And just try to re-find your focus. Sometimes I find in a yoga class, my focus wanes, it goes and drifts and thinks about a whole range of things. Like a shopping list, for example. And so just reconnect to the breath. Know that that's very normal. And it's very okay. And from here, what I want you to do is just plant your right hand down and tuck your back toes under, lift the back knee up off the floor. We're going to come into a twist. Sweep your left arm up and reach up towards the ceiling. Now, if you find that your neck hurts when you try to look up, I want you to take that left hand, place it behind your neck and cup the back of your neck for some support. Reach your elbow up if you're in that position. You might start to feel that this area of your neck is engaged. And sometimes when we're really tight in that area, that can be pretty bad. We can cramp up. But effectively, that muscle needs to engage to hold our neck up as we look up to the ceiling. So if you feel that it's okay, maybe try and keep your neck lifted, keep yourself looking up, keep engaging that muscle there so as to build strength, so as to be able to do it later on in classes without support. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, windmill that left arm down and drop the back knee to the floor. From here, we're going to take the left hand, bring it onto the inside of the left foot, and then lift the back knee up off the floor. Plant that right foot down, and we're coming into an extended side angle pose. So we're keeping that left arm down, taking our right hand onto our hip, and just trying to lift our right shoulder up to the ceiling. Trying to draw one nice long line between the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder on the left side, and the shoulder on the right side. And if it feels okay for you, reach your right arm up. And again, try and look up if it feels right for your neck. Good. 2 more breaths here. Last one. Good, and then take that right hand, reach it forward and out in front of you. Find a nice stretch from the fingertips to the heel, and then windmill it back behind you, and come into your wide-legged stance. Looking downwards and letting your body relax here. Try to get your toes to tuck in a little bit. Let your head and your neck relax. And take 3 deep breaths. You're softening, letting the spine relax and extend. One more. Good, and then inhale into your halfway lift. And from here, we're going to drop our hips down towards our right heel and extend our left leg out in front of us. Pull those left toes back towards you and just take 3 deep breaths here, just relaxing into that left hip. Letting the weight of the hips stretch down and stretch and open that left hamstring. One more breath here. Good, and when you're ready, you can just drop your hips down to the floor and scoot yourself to the top of, to the center of your mat. Take your right leg and bring your right foot over to the left side of your body. Wrap your left arm around your right leg and just look behind you for a twist. Just take 3 deep breaths here. Again, drawing that chin down and trying to turn the chin towards the right shoulder. Feeling that stretching in the neck that you felt before as you were trying to look up. One more breath. Good, and when you're ready, come back to center. Now this is a really nice stretch for your hamstring. If you've got really tight hamstrings, like I do on that left side, you might find it challenging, but it's still a really good stretch. So see how you go. It's like a half Gomukhasana, which is a cow face pose. And what we're aiming to do is bring the knees on top of one another. Now yours might be lifted like mine is on this side, in which case you can just lift it up and separate the space between the 2 knees. Otherwise, bring the knees as close to one another as you can. Take your hands behind you, pull those left toes towards you, and take a big breath in. Lift your belly and your chest up. And as you exhale, reach your belly and your chest forward. And just hold there. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Take 3 deep breaths. Softening on the exhale. Good, and after that 3rd exhale, slowly roll yourself up. Just cross your ankles and your legs over. Come onto your hands and your knees. And let's just do 1 cat-cow here, dropping the belly down as you breathe in. And rounding the back up to the ceiling as you breathe out. And then come back to a neutral position. Step your feet back into a plank. Take 3 deep breaths. And just keep breathing, keep feeling your body's energy rise as you flow through this class. And just notice, has that energy changed since you first started? How do you feel? After your third exhale, hold that exhale breath out and lower yourself down onto your belly, onto your chest. Nice. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. And from here, we're just going to do a Cobra, lifting ourselves up and holding here. Draw your shoulders away from your neck. Draw your elbows down and away. See if you can relax into your spine. If you feel a pinching in that lower back, walk your hands further out in front of you. Otherwise, just softening the ribcage, softening the spine. Taking 2 more breaths. That's it. And after the exhale, lower yourself down. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, power up into a plank on the inhale, and exhale to down dog. Alrighty, from here, inhale, lift your hips and your heels up. Exhale, ground them down. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift your right leg up, take a big breath in. And again, try and find that one nice long line from your hands to your shoulders, from your shoulders to your hips, from your hips to your heel. 2 more breaths. Keep that left leg working. Last one, big breath in, a full breath out. And on this next breath, take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, bring that right knee to your right elbow into a plank position. Exhaling, flowing. Inhale, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, tiger curl. So bring that knee through the center, pointing the toes back behind you. Bring the nose to the knee. Take a big breath in. And exhale, step the foot to the top of the mat. Drop your back knee to the floor. Flatten the back foot out on the ground. Frame your front foot with your fingers. Inhale, send the hips back. As you exhale, send them forward, sink them down. And again, just find your 3D breath here. So breathing into the belly and into the chest. For 3 inhales, 3 exhales. Reconnecting to your body. Reconnecting to how you feel, to your energy. And focusing on that breath. After your exhale, plant your left hand down. Tuck your left toes under. Lift your left knee up off the floor. Sweep your right arm up. Support the back of the neck if it helps, by cupping the hand on the back of the neck and reaching that elbow up. And take 1 more full breath in and a full breath out. Next, inhale, reach that right arm up. As you exhale, reach it forward and then bring it down onto the floor. Bring the right hand onto the inside of the right foot. Plant the left heel on the floor. Almost said right. And as you inhale, sweep your left arm up. You can start by taking the hand onto the hip if you want and just rolling that shoulder up. Trying to get the right hand, the right shoulder and the left shoulder in one nice long line. Often what people do is they come here. You want to peel that left shoulder back. Have a go at looking up. Reaching that left arm up. 2 more breaths. Good, and then windmill that left arm forward. And exhale all the way back and behind you onto the floor. Turn yourself to the side of your mat. Draw your toes in, press into the edges of your feet. Inhale into a halfway lift. And as you exhale, this time we're going to bend the knees a little bit and fold ourselves down. Good, press into the edges of your feet. And just imagine that your spine is unraveling and lengthening. See if you can take 3 of those 3D breaths here. One more. After that exhale, inhale into your halfway lift. And drop your hips over towards your left foot. Straighten that right leg. And just let the weight of that right leg sink down, stretch into the underside of your right thigh. 3 breaths. If you can, draw those right toes towards you and press that right heel away. 1 more. Good, almost there. Drop your hips down to the floor and bring your left foot over to the outside of your right leg. Wrap your right arm around your left leg. Bring your left hand behind you and come into a twist. And again, try and bring your chin over towards your left elbow, your left shoulder. Just turning it further backwards, further to the left. One more. Good, and then come back to center. And from here, bring your left knee on top of your left leg into that kind of Gomukhasana, cow face posed prep pose. And ideally your knees are on top of one another, but if they're not, that's okay. And pull those right toes back towards you. Press that right heel away as best as you can. I find this is like a really nice stretch. It's kind of nice to have the weight of that left leg on top. It really deepens the stretch in my hamstring. When you're ready, take your hands behind you, breathe into your belly and your chest, lift them up nice and tall. And as you exhale, think of extending them forward and down, and then just holding there. 3 breaths. Find your 3D breath, find your focus again. And I wonder how your physical body feels. Just do a scan for these next 2 breaths to check in. Good. When you're ready, you can gently lift yourself up. And now we're going to change it up a bit. We're going to take that left leg, bring it to the, straighten it out in front of us. And bring your hands back behind you. From here, you can draw your toes back towards you, breathing in. And as you breathe out, point the toes. Stretch the fronts of the feet. Let's do 2 more of those. Breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. Nice. When you're ready, I want you to bring your feet flat on the floor. Scoot your hips towards your heels. And then lift your chest up. And as you exhale, bend your elbows and just drop. It's kind of like dropping your back behind you, but really all you have to do here is bend your elbows. And then let your chest kind of slump down. And this is a stretch into the shoulders and the shoulder joint. And you might find that it's nicer having the fingers pointing towards your heels. But we're really just dropping down. We're kind of collapsing, which is not something we encourage in yoga, except when we're doing it safely and stretching in a passive way. Let's take 1 more breath here. Good, and now instead of bending those arms, we're going to straighten them. And from here, if you haven't got your fingers pointed forward towards your feet, then do so. We're going to lift up into a reverse bridge. So when you're ready, or a reverse tabletop, forget which one it is. Plant your feet down into the floor. Take a big breath in, lift your chest up. And as you exhale, press into your feet, lift your hips up off the ground. And keep those arms nice and straight and see if you can hold here for 5 breaths. We're just going to work the arms before we come down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, full breath in. And as you exhale, slowly lower your hips down onto the floor on 1. You can walk your hands forward and then gently bring yourself down onto your elbows and onto the ground. And then bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Draw your left knee into your chest. Take 3 deep breaths here. Draw that left leg in a little closer as you exhale. And just enjoy the stretch. Good. Now you can bring your arms out into cactus arms beside you, and then simply just drop your legs over towards the left side. Look towards your right arm if you'd like. You can keep that right ankle on the left knee, or you can bring the knees on top of one another. Let's take one more breath here. Softening on the exhale. And then gently lift yourself up and just change the cross of the legs. So bring the right foot down, bring the left ankle on top of the right knee, and draw the right knee in. Take 3 deep breaths. Good. And when you're ready, I need to make myself a bit of space. I'm going to drop those legs over towards the right side. Look towards the left arm. 3 deep breaths. Nice. When you're ready, come back to that neutral position. Bring your hips to the center of the mat. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor. And to close the class, we're going to do a little bit of a core routine. And the reason we do this is because it's something that needs more focus in yoga, and it's not super emphasized in a short class. So we're just going to work on that a little bit. It's great for us. It's not the funnest thing to do, but afterwards we feel really good. So that's why we're going to do it. So bring your knees into your chest to begin with. And from here, I'd like you to lift your spine off the floor, just leaving your lumbar spine, which is the lowest kind of section of your spine, on the ground. Then extend your left leg out in front of you, holding onto your right leg only, and take a big breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to swap legs and exhale sharply out through the nose. So take a big breath in again and exhale, swap. Breathing in, exhale, swap. Breathing in, exhale, swap. Breathing in, exhale, swap. Breathing in, exhale, swap. And keep going. Keep lifting your spine up. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring yourself all the way onto the floor. Drop your feet down onto the ground and take your hands underneath you, underneath your sit bones. From here, we're going to finish with one last pose called Matsi Andrasana, Lord of the Fishes pose. Pretty sure this is the one. Plant your hands down into the floor. Plant your elbows down into the floor. And from here, if you've done this before, then and you feel safe coming up into it, then feel free to do that. Otherwise, if you're not sure what we're doing, just look forward and pay a little bit closer attention. What I'd like you to do is press down into your elbows to lift yourself up off the ground like so. Now, please watch before you come into this. What I want you to do is bring the top of your head on the ground. If you can't bring the top of your head on the ground, you need to slide your arms towards your hips a little more. And we're going to hold here, stretching our chin back behind us. But if you decide to come out of this, if it doesn't feel right for you, please don't jar your head by gliding your head backwards. What I want you to do first is to press into your arms, lift your torso up off the floor, then draw your chin in and then come down. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's have a go. Press down into your arms, lift your torso up off the floor, bring the top of your head onto the ground. If you can't get it there, slide your arms towards your hips a little more, and then stretch your chin to the top of your mat behind you. If you want, you can also stretch and lengthen the legs out. See how that feels. Point the toes. Just take 5 deep breaths in and out. Breathe that 3D breath in. It's funny how your voice trains when you talk in this position, but it's a really lovely stretch for the front of the throat. So just enjoy it. Keep pressing those arms down. Keep a little bit of strength in your arms. And then take your final breath here. And remember to come out. I want you to finish your exhale, press into your arms and lift your torso up off the floor. So lift, 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 lift. Then draw your chin in towards your chest and then come down. Good job. And when you're ready, come into a comfortable position. Take one hand onto your belly, one hand onto your chest. We're going to take a big inhale in. And as you exhale, sigh out of your mouth. Take 2 more breaths like that. If breathing like that helps you feel calmer, please keep going. Otherwise, find a rhythmic flow of breath to the nostrils, through the nostrils rather. And let's just take 10 deep breaths in and out here. Relax the muscles in your body. And start by doing a bit of a scan all the way from the hands and the toes and feel those relax. To the arms and the legs, feel those relax. To the hips and the shoulders. To your back body. To your front body, all the way up to your neck. To your whole skull and all the muscles on your face. Tune into that physical body, and on your next breath, just follow the inhale in. And just notice your energetic body and your mental body and how your mind is doing right now. How that energetic space is doing right now. I hope it's feeling a little bit better than when you started. Take 3 more breaths here. Feel yourself soften and let go. And then for the final breath, we're going to take a deep breath in and just sigh vocally out of our mouth. So I'll do one first and then you can follow me. So breathing in and sighing out of the mouth, making a vocal noise. It feels good, trust me. I said 1, but I meant 3. We're going to do 2 more like that. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. If those feel good, you can keep going. Otherwise, start to wriggle your fingers and your toes. And on a breath in, stretch your arms back and stretch your feet forward. And draw your knees into your chest. And roll over onto your right side before making your way up to a comfortable seat. Just come to the top of your mat and again come into that comfortable position. Maybe you find now that it's okay to sit up without something supporting your hips, or maybe you still need something there. Just tune into what feels right for you. Take your hands onto your thighs. We're going to close with 3 breaths because it's so important just to tune in and to sort of take in what we've worked towards and the flow that we've worked into our body from the yoga asana practice. So bring your hands to your legs or to your heart center or to your lap. Close your eyes or soften your gaze and look down at the floor and take 3 deep breaths. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that you feel at least a little bit better after doing this class. I hope that your body feels open. I hope that you feel slightly more energized. And I hope that you feel like you're a little bit flowful or flowy, like you can kind of have enough energy to take you through the rest of your day or your evening. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Namaste.